So here we are, our first road trip on the channel. And the first job, top up with diesel, because we're going to be using quite a bit of this. And with that job out of the way, it was time to pick up some very excited kids from nursery.
You ready for a road trip?
Yeah!
Good, let's get in there.
Go, boys!
You got your zebra! Whoa, what's that noise?
Pizza? Because I love pizza.
You love pizza.
Yeah.
Good job, you got some for dinner. Right, everyone say road trip!
Road trip!
And with that, we hit the road. We booked a spontaneous trip down to Cornwall to see some friends and to see the sights. We thought it was a perfect opportunity to do some exploring too.
One more travel along the road I go. One more travel along the road I go. Keep me travelling along with you.
With a couple of hours of driving under the belt, we got pretty deep into the motorway miles. The kids were being really well behaved in the back of the van, but we decided it's time for a quick stop. Toilet break, stretch their legs, but more importantly, let the kids burn off some of their energy before the night sets in.
Daddy,
Yeah.
cheese! Cheese feet!
So after a nice quick stop, and the boys been able to get out and stretch their legs, we began with the last leg of this drive.
All aboard the daddy bus!
We have no idea where we're staying for this trip. That's the beauty of it. Makes it exciting. We're just using the Park for Night app to make sure we can find some suitable parking spots for overnight stays.
Wow, so is this where we're going to camp tonight? Would you like to have a sleepover here tonight?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it?
Yeah. Daddy.
Yeah.
Guess what's outside?
What's outside?
You've got to guess.
Oh.
It's something with a slide.
A slide?
Yeah.
Oh, is it a water park?
No.
Oh, is it a skate park?
No.
Is it park?
Yeah.
Wow.
The boys were both getting super excited and mega impatient, but who can blame them when this was the view outside of our door? So night one, and what a success. We hit really lucky with this stopover. But we were not holding these kids back. They couldn't even get dressed. So pyjamas it was, but we don't mind. We're on holiday now.
Are you a pirate?
Yeah.
We've got honey hoops in a mug.
Lemon.
And milk.
Yeah.
Yum.
For anyone thinking about staying in Appledore car park with a camper van, it looks like a decent option. There's loads of spaces here. There are some spaces marked out for not for motorhomes, but I'm guessing they're for your bigger rigs. We got here about 11:30 last night, which is a bit later than we expected, but when we looked on the Ringo app where you pay, it said that the parking actually starts from 8 AM. So I tried paying for a bit longer and it said the payment doesn't actually count until 8 AM. So we've paid until 10. I think it worked out as about £3.60, which I think is a decent price for a night out. So after an energetic start to the morning, we're cracking on with day 2. We're off to the Big Sheep Adventureland and then visiting some friends too.
I think Daddy might have found a super cool park for us to go to.
Where? That way.
It's called the Big Sheep.
There are loads of sheep.
I don't know. Shall we go and find out?
Yeah.
Okay. There might be a park.
Yeah. Good.
Sheep.
Yeah.
What noise does sheep make?
We came to the Big Sheep Adventureland midweek, so it was really quiet. We practically had the whole place to ourselves.
What the mummy's feeling dizzy about now.
Polly, was that ride fun?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look thrilled.
Was you brave?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were so brave going on the ride.
Is mummy dizzy?
A little bit.
Oh no.
And before long, we were sat at a sheep show, where the kids could learn a little bit about a few different breeds of sheep, and there was a few cheeky puns in there, which went right over the kids' heads. I enjoyed them. It didn't take long before we started adventuring around, and the kids found the pedalos, which they had to go on. Not that they wanted to do any of the work, mind you.
Should we race you?
No, we've got to take it careful.
Right.
We're a sinking hazard.
So after all that hard work the kids were putting in, it was time for one of Laker's favourite things, lunchtime.
Thank you. I'll have one.
But first, an important lesson to be learnt.
Is that how you eat a cheese string?
No.
No, it's not. You're an animal. Do you know how you're supposed to eat the cheese string?
Nah.
Like this. Watch, let me show you. Take it out.
Yeah.
You're supposed to peel it.
Right.
Get that bit,
Yeah.
and that bit,
Yeah.
and that bit, and that bit, and that bit. Yeah. You got stringy cheese. Where have you been?
On
On a roller coaster.
Yeah, and I didn't like it.
Why not?
I didn't.
And here's the proof. But with a little bit of persuasion and some asking nicely, I got him to come back on with me, hoping he'd enjoy it second time round. Or maybe not.
How was it?
Good.
I didn't like it.
You still didn't like it? Oh no.
So we swapped our thrills for spills, where the boys got a chance to bottle feed some baby lambs. We got to see some of the other animals around the park too. And hand feed some bigger sheep in their pens.
Come and get me, Mum.
And just like that, Our day at the Big Sheep Adventureland came to an end.
I had the best day!
Our next stop, Jack, Erin and Cooper's house.
You knock on that gate for me.
Hello.
Hello.
So Jack's an old friend of ours, and younger brother to my best friend Tom. Him and his wife had just had a new baby, Cooper, who we come to visit.
Nice.
They welcomed us into their home with open arms, a nice barbecue and plenty of cold drinks. And before long, all of the family turned up too. Tom and Shelley come along to meet Cooper for the first time. Alan and Louise, Tom and Jack's dad and stepmum, and Erin's parents, and grandparents too. We hadn't been down to visit Jack and Erin since they moved out of Nottingham a few years ago, so we got to see what a beautiful home they've built. Jack's built himself a nice bar at the bottom of the garden, and stocked it well too. And it didn't take long before things got competitive. We were playing plenty of garden games.
Who's next then? Who's next?
Well, until Jack brought out the big guns and things got a little bit more serious. With the proper clubs brought out, we decided to swap out puttable for a little bit of chipping and golf practice. Unlike all friendly competitions, this come with an ice bath plunge forfeit. It wasn't long before Jack brought out the ring on a string game. This is something we love playing when we all get together. It's really competitive, really fun, and it involves a bit of drinking too.
Didn't hurt you. Stay on.
No mercy.
Although I'm sure a baby Guinness is more of a treat than a punishment.
Perfect.
And when you take the drinking out of the game, it becomes great for kids too. Harley loves it.
Yes, Harley!
And Tom. To the dunk. To the dunk.
To the turb.
Is it nicely warm?
It's warmed up.
Oh, and then we've got the ice.
Push my face through the beers.
Yeah, we've warmed it up for you already, Tom.
Yeah.
Throwing blowing bubbles.
Right.
Got me a Foster's out.
At least 15 seconds, yeah?
2 seconds,
Got
alright.
to blow bubbles. Got to blow bubbles.
I can't get in a Foster's.
And to finish off our evening, we thought what better to do than to shotgun cans of Fosters like we did as kids.
Well, you should be very proud, guys. Well done.
And for a moment, it felt like we never grew up.
Cheers, boys.
Well, some of us didn't.
Oh, literally.
So we've just been to visit Jack and Erin. We had a great barbecue, we've had some nice time visiting some old friends, some old family. We're now heading back to Appledore, where we're going to camp at the same campsite. Stay there for the night, wake up in the morning. Hopefully we're going to head to Bude, where we're going to do some swimming in the sea, watch some surfing possibly. Yeah, see what tomorrow brings. But right now we need to get back to Appledore, get the bed set up and get some sleep because the kids are knackered. We're pretty tired and we could do with some sorting out some stuff. So yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
We're off on the way to Bude today. Hopefully going to go in the sea pool and maybe use some bodyboards and go in the sea and yeah, hit some waves. Loved it in Appledore, really nice little place. Very limited facilities. The toilet block was closed overnight. There is a shower, but it is an outdoor shower that's quite open to the public. So probably not the best for using for washing. But yeah, looking forward to see what today brings.
You say hi, Holly.
Hi.
Give me a wave. just heading into Bude town now. I think we're going for a traditional Cornish pasty and a bit to eat. And then we're going to move on this afternoon. After Alan and Louise had highly recommended this pasty shop, we thought it'd be rude not to pop in and grab one. We knew it was going to be good because there's a huge queue inside and is even tailing out the door at one point. So with the goods secured, we took a little walk around the corner and up onto the top of a hill that overlooked Bude Beach. The view is incredible and it got us all hungry to get down there and to get onto the beach. It didn't take us long to finish our lunch and head down onto the beach. It was the first touch of sand on our trip for the boys, so we had a nice little stroll across the beach and the kids were desperate to have a little paddle. I'm not sure they're expecting it to be this cold though. And given how cold it was, we decided that was enough sea action for the day. We certainly weren't getting in. After a little paddle, Alan and Louise wanted to treat the boys to an ice cream, but they were thoroughly spoiled.
What flavour?
Bubblegum.
Yeah.
Is it yummy?
Yeah.
The boys had spotted the funfair in the distance as we approached Bude earlier. We thought it'd be rude not to bring them over and let them have a little go. Harley's at an age now where he's loving the bumper cars, but Laker's just a little bit too small. But they both got to enjoy the teacups. After some excitement at the fun fair, we headed back to Alan and Louise's house. They had kindly offered to do some of our laundry earlier on in the day. So we come back to collect that, say goodbye to everyone, and get on the road again.
Thanks for having us.
We say bye to Bude.
Bye.
Where are we going now?
Good.
We're going to a
Castle.
castle.
So today we've been into Bude. We've been to visit Louise and Al and see their house, which is lovely. It was a beautiful pit stop because they've done some of our washing for us and got that done. We've been into town, been to the beach, seen the pool, had a little paddle in the sea. The boys managed to find a fun fair, went on all the rides, and now we're just setting off and heading over to Tintagel to see whether the castle's open, see if we can cross the bridge. It might be a bit late, but then we're going to find somewhere to camp up for the night. So see what we fit in today. If not, we'll go back tomorrow.
Unfortunately, we did get here too late to go into the castle and to cross the bridge, but we did see a set of steps going down to the beach, which we thought we'd give it a go. Wow, look at this, boys.
Right, we're going to throw you into the sea. 1, 2, 3.
The boys had loved their time at the cove, jumping in the sea, climbing over the rocks. But it was time to think about where we was heading next. It was getting later in the evening and we'd had a busy day. So we found a campsite on Park for Night, where we got there, levelled the van up and got set up for the night. The weather wasn't too bad when we arrived, so the boys got to come out and play while we were setting up the van and getting dinner on. But the weather soon changed. With some light rain starting to come down and the wind's picking up a little bit, we decided it was time to eat in the van. The boys were starting to chill out and get ready for bed. But then the weather started to really change. So we got to our campsite fairly late in the evening last night. We set up, got dinner on, and just cracked on. The weather started to turn as we was doing dinner. It started spitting, which was fine, we could deal with that. But then the wind started picking up, and then we made all the beds up, set the roof up, and then the winds really started hitting, to the point where we had to sort of have bought the pop top for the night. We brought both of the kids back downstairs. We made a bed on the floor for them out of mattresses and all the blankets we had, which meant that Claire and I could have the main bed, and the kids had their own bed on the floor, which is ideal because it was a decent backup. But yeah, it was a bit tight and a bit last minute planned. I mean, this was probably about 12, half 12 that we had to move the kids around and make the bed up. But yeah, if you ever got a pop top camper, don't chance it in the winds. You'll either just ruin your pop top, do some damage, or worse, someone could get hurt. So yeah, if there's a backup, use that. Just try and play it safe. There was no point us chancing it. As soon as the wind started getting a bit aggressive, we just said no, there's no point. So yeah, woke up, shower time, hot chocolate time. I think kids want hot chocolate for breakfast, and then we're off to the next adventure. So day 4, Port Isaac, a small fishing village on the north coast of Cornwall, famously known for being the backdrop of the ITV television series Doc Martin. We popped down here in the morning to get a hot drink, get the boys their hot chocolate, and start our day right.
You got Harley?
Hot chocolate.
Tasty.
Yeah.
Show Daddy what we've got.
Daddy, can I have a leg?
You got?
Yeah.
Yum.
The boys were inquisitive about some of the wildlife we were seeing on the beach, so Lake was more than happy to have a closer look at a little crab we found in a rock pool. Harley also found some jellyfish washed up on the beach. He wasn't quite sure about them. With the clouds rolling over and a little bit of light rain, we decided it's time to pack up in the van and go to the next destination. A short drive from Port Isaac, we found a little gem called Treyarnon Bay Beach. Lucky for us, the weather started to turn and the sun came back out, and we found this really busy little spot, so we knew it must be a good one. The waves were rolling in pretty rough, so there's loads of people out in the sea bodyboarding, surfing, swimming, and just enjoying the beach for what it is. The boys weren't quite ready to jump in the sea, so we built some sand castles, played a few ball games, and then buried each other in the sand. Unfortunately, the tide rolled in pretty quick, so we had to pack up and get back to the van. Until we had some dramas, that is.
So we just left Treyarnon Bay Beach, and we've noticed a little bit of squeaking when we're turning and braking a little bit. I'm not sure what it is at the moment. I've had a quick look in the car park. I've also noticed the last couple of minutes of driving, I've had a red stop light and a battery charge system error message come up. It stayed on for about 10-15 seconds and then disappeared. Another 15 to 20 seconds went by and it came back again and stayed on a bit longer, then was a bit intermittent. So we pulled over into a car park. Again, I got up on ramps and had a quick look underneath, couldn't see anything obvious. No power steering fluid leaking, all the roll bars and drop links and stuff all seems to be intact. The light was on when I killed the engine off, turned it back on, and it seems to have stayed off for now. But yeah, a bit of gentle driving now to keep an eye on it, because we might be ending this on a recovery truck. But we'll see.
So yeah, not what we needed or what we wanted for our first trip of this channel, especially when the van's been so reliable to us over the last 5 years.
So the good news is that we're still on the move, and we've been through Newquay, had a brief look around there, and we are now just arriving in Heron Sands. We're going to see if we can camp up here for the night and maybe explore the beaches in the morning.
So the last campsite we tried was a no-go. They had one last electric hookup pitch available and they wanted 95 quid for the night. Didn't really want to pay that for one night, given that we're up and off in the morning anyway. So we carried on going down further south. We're now in St Ives. We found a little car park. We had a look, found it on Park for Night, the app, and there's no signs here saying there's no overnight parking prohibited. So we found a nice little spot at the back of the car park out of the way, fairly quiet. There's another camper van pulled up as well, so they've got the same idea, but it's going to do for an overnight stopover.
Being in such a residential area, we decided not to put the roof up for the night. We knew the boys could sleep downstairs quite comfortably, so we opted for that option tonight. So we've got a big day ahead of us today. We're heading to one of the pivotal points in our trip, Land's End. But we started the morning in a little town called Sloop. We headed down to the beach. It was pretty quiet, there's a few shops open, but the kids were just loving playing in the sand, even if the sun wasn't out. After our start in Sloop, we headed 10 minutes over the road to another little beach called Porthmuir. Laker was feeling a little bit needy at this point and needed a lot of cuddles and a bit of carrying. But that didn't stop me and Harley going and climbing over all the rocks that were there. Harley's got loads of energy and loves climbing anything that he can, so this was heaven to him. We spent a while playing on the rocks, while Claire was cuddling Laker. But after a while, Claire wanted to go exploring herself. So I gave Laker a cuddle, while Harley was happy playing in the rock pools. Claire climbed up a bit higher than me and Harley and found a nice viewpoint at the top. Wasn't quite suitable for the kids. And before long, Laker would come out of his shell a bit, and he was quite happy playing and digging in the sand with Harley. We had a few miles to cover today, so we hit the road again. A few more country roads this time, rather than coastal route all the way. And then we saw signs for Land's End.
Where are we going, Harley? Where have we got to?
Cornwall.
Well, we've been in Cornwall a while, but where's the place we're going? Where we're walking to now?
I don't know.
Not Lanzarote. Land's End.
Well, you can tell Harley's had a few holidays, but not quite Lanzarote. This is Land's End, the most southwesterly point in the UK. Iconic for its signs, which we queued up for. It even got a personalised message on the signboard. Given that we're mega tourists, we thought we'd have to get the picture. We queued up for about 40 minutes and paid about 15 quid for the 2 pictures, printed and digital.
So just a little bit of an update on today. We started off at St Ives, where we parked overnight last night. We drove down into town this morning, spent a little bit of time around the harbour, walked over to Porthmuir, just had a little play on the beach. The rocks were lovely, kids were loving the rock pools that were all crystal clear water. Walked back from there, the kids had a little glitter tattoo done at each, and then we got back in the car and we drove via Zena. Wasn't really much to talk about in Zena, so we just pulled up. There were a few little mermaid pictures the kids had a little look at, and then we carried on making our way down to Land's End. Very surprised about how big the queues were at Land's End just to get your photo, but I suppose it was worth the wait to say we've done it. We then carried on, tried to have a look at the Minack Theatre, but unfortunately tickets were all sold out and we hadn't pre-booked just because we didn't know where we'd be or what time. And unfortunately you can't see the theatre at all unless you go in with ticket admission. We carried on down, had a little look at Mousehole, which was a really cute little fishing village, loads of people in the water swimming, that looked really nice. Carried on through to Penzance. We've just driven through the town and we're now just about to pull up to have a little look at St Michael's Mount before we find somewhere to camp over again tonight. Hopefully find somewhere with some showers and to do some washing, I think. So yeah, that's us.
But first things first, a beer. We arrived at Higher Pentreath campsite, a nice little spot for a quick sort out of the van, a bit of a freshen up and a tidy. And some showers and some laundry services too. This was a nice point in our trip, to be able to freshen up the van, get all the sand out from the beaches, do some washing, and some washing up, which isn't that easy to do when you're off grid. So day 6 started a little bit gloomy. It had been raining, the clouds were grey, and the weather was just a bit dull. So I started the morning right, made myself a cup of tea, got all the essentials in the van: tea, coffee, sugar, and hot chocolate. I was just about to sit down and enjoy my cup of tea when I heard an engine revving and roaring from across the field. A couple in an old Volkswagen camper from across the campsite were getting stuck in the mud where it rained overnight and got a bit boggy. As soon as I heard them revving and roaring, I decided to run over and try and give them a hand. I had some recovery boards on the back of our van that I was going to use, but they was quite happy to get pushed. So there was about 4 of us that gave the van a good shove and eventually got them on their way. After eventually drinking my tea, it was time to freshen up our water supply. Another fresh 10 litres to go in our freshly clean van, and we was ready to hit the road again. This time we're going to another iconic spot in the UK, the most southerly point, Lizard. The winds were pretty horrific here, being on the coast. It was understandable. But we made our way down the steep steps and the steep slopes, and we'd heard that you could spot seals off at the beach, sometimes even on the beach. As we headed down, we spoke to some of the local volunteers that worked at Lizard Point looking after the wildlife. One of them was kind enough to lend Claire his binoculars so she could look out into the sea. She saw a few grey heads bobbing up and down, so we decided to get down closer and have a look, where we saw a couple of seals playing in the waves. The weather hadn't really picked up at this point, and it was really gloomy and dark and just a bit miserable. So we decided to cheer the boys up and take them to an indoor soft play. We didn't tell them we was going to a soft play. We told them we was going to a place called Raze the Roof, and we was going to buy a new roof for the van.
Where are we going? What is it? Did we come to the wrong place?
They was quite happy when they walked in and saw it was a soft play instead of a shop for roofs. After a good few hours of energy burning fun for the boys, we hit the road again. Our next stop was Mevagissey. With its tight roads, blind bends and steep hills, this was probably the toughest place we took the van, but still very much doable. And the weather wasn't changing much either. Poor Laker didn't know how to dress.
You ready for all weathers? Good job.
So we parked up and we headed into Mevagissey town, where we saw some beautiful little pubs, old buildings, and we found a spot to eat as well. Ben's place. Really welcoming, looked after us, and it was some great food too. This was a great chance for us to have a look and see where we could park tonight. So we found a little spot, an empty car park outside the Rising Sun Inn, just 2 minutes away from Mevagissey. It was a cheap, no frills stopover. It was an empty car park. That's all we needed. Well, perfect spot for the boys to have a wrestle before bed anyway.
Noodle power!
So day 7, and the last day of our trip. We woke up just outside of Mevagissey and we headed back in just to have a better look at the harbour. Breakfast today was ice cream. But like I said, we're on holiday. The boys had some fun throwing rocks in the sea on the shore, and we eventually got round to having a boat trip too. We jumped on board and made a 50-minute sail around the harbour, up to a nice beach, and then back again. When you thought the kids had their ice cream fix, turns out they found an even bigger one they wanted, and definitely tried to lick it too.
So we woke up in Mevagissey where we stayed last night and went along into the harbour this morning. We've been on a little boat ride around the harbour, which was nice. The kids have had a play on the beach, jumping over some waves, and then we've got back in the car and we're now just heading along to Polperro. So this is the last stop on our trip, and the boys are going to be making their way home this evening, and I'm going to stay on in Polperro for a few days as I've got a few girlfriends coming down to spend the weekend with. So looking forward to see what it has, but very sad to be the last day.
So we've got into Polperro and we've just parked at Polperro car park. It's a huge space here. I had a quick look at the signs. It looks like you can camp here, motorhomes, campervans, that sort of thing. We have to stay at the top end of the car park, which is quiet. That's where we parked anyway, just to have a bit of a van reset, get Claire's stuff sorted because she's obviously off on a girls' weekend away. So getting her bag ready, letting the boys stretch their legs, and we're gonna head off home shortly. But yeah, they've got loads of energy still.
And after an exciting 7 days, I'm not sure how they had that much energy, but they always seem to. But it comes to the last point in our trip. We all said goodbye to Mum, who was leaving down in Polperro where she could spend some time with her friends who were coming to visit. So we got the boys ready, fed them some dinner, and we hit the road.
See you later, everybody! Bye!
Have a nice weekend!
Thank you! Love you all!
Love
Let me know you
you.
get home safe!
So that was us. Me and the boys, we hit the road for the long 5.5 hour drive back home. For the whole trip they behaved so well. For the amount of time they spent in the back of the van, they behaved brilliantly. Can't fault them there. In total, our trip totaled up to 779 miles. It's not bad for our first trip, but I think we've got some bigger ones planned, and some shorter ones too. So as the night set in, we got closer and closer to home. And that brings us to the end of our first trip, Cornwall.